like to take a quick moment to talk about martele bow stroke. Martele, in my mind, is basically a very close cousin to a staccato, and it can be used when you see marcato. So marcato is the Italian word, and martele is the French word. Staccato is a tricky term. I should probably talk about this in another video, but just really quick, staccato is, when you see that dot on the top of the note head or right below the note head. And it's a very loose term, like, pianists use staccato, wind players talk about staccato. And when you see that dot on the note head, it could just be like you're talking about that marking on the page. But how you bring it to life using your instrument doesn't always, turn out to be a staccato. I hope that makes sense. So it's up to us to understand, what we should do at that point. And then so we may want to use a spiccato bow stroke, although it looks like just a normal staccato marking on the page. So the written, format looks like a staccato, but we're going to play it as a spiccato, or we're going to play it as a sautille, or we're going to play it as a martele. Typically, marteles could or could not have a dot on them, that staccato marking. So it's really, really confusing. I'll just give you an example. Here's a martele, and the first time I use it is in Suzuki Book 1. I talk about it with my students, right? You can tell that all the first note is a quarter note that I'm playing, so all my quarter notes are being played with a martele stroke, and all my eighth notes are being played as a legato stroke. And legato just means connected and smooth, right, and not detached. And then my half note is also kind of just being stuck on with the rest of my eighth notes, so that's also legato. I'm going to show you that one more time. So what did I do? Well, if you interpret that piece as to being a staccato, then you would probably play it somewhere in the mid-ish of your bow, right? This is kind of like a medium speed, middle of the road staccato in my book, in my mind. And so what I did instead to make it more exciting and more fun is I just used more bow. If you use more bow, you may want to put a little bit more articulation in the beginning and the end. So you might want to think of notes as having a beginning, a middle, and an end. So if you listen to my first note, right, and even all of these four notes, they have a middle, a beginning, a middle, and an end. So the beginning is kind of like, has that, I'm starting it with the bow on, I'm putting pressure in, and it has a bit of a zing in the beginning. When I say zing, I mean bow speed and bow weight, right? So you do want to kind of have a fast, little bit of a tiny little explosion at the beginning. And then the middle of it is just really full, right? We're just like really kind of sweeping the bow through. The sound is very solid all the way through, no variation. And then the end of the note comes to an abrupt stop. It's kind of like you ran into the wall, like that. Okay, so we want to have... I feel like this E string is a little faulty, and it's new too. I'm trying to take that really metallic, shimmery sound out of it, but it's not really working. So anyway, that is the martele stroke. Martele comes from the word like hammered, right? It's referring to the word hammer. So it's, think of like a large mallet and boom, like that. So that's why I'm putting it, quite loud, quite energetic. yes, it sounds heavy, but I think it should sound heavy. It should sound powerful, but it doesn't have to sound like super heavy because I did put quite a bit of bow speed in there. And so mainly I want it to feel strong, proud, and energetic. All right, so I made up words to this piece, Allegro, and so it's a really happy, really fun song. Starts out with chocolate pudding. So somebody's calling out and telling about chocolate pudding. So, how much more exciting can that be? And it's really calling out and trying to attract people, and then they're coming to eat it, right? So there's that. There's another example in the Vivaldi. It depends on your taste. If you rather play it a little bit more light and elegant, that's also good too. It's also very beautiful. So I like that. It's a very romantic sound, but I think it's, for students, it's a good chance to teach them how to really use their bow and make these Vivaldi rhythms really come to life. If I were to do it in a more Baroque style, I might make a few of them light or something, but anyway, those can be interpreted in many ways. But there's another chance to do it. These are really invaluable strokes, and it's a good way to get some bow speed into your beginner student. You're building your repertoire of different bow strokes and different sounds, articulations, and that's, I think, what makes violin playing, especially listening to a violin, is very, very fun and interesting and imaginative. So you always want to use your bow to create lots of different things and create so many different textures, because textures are what kind of sparks the imagination, and it infuses moods and colors and maybe even scenes and actions, as we listen to music being played. So anyway, just to think about all the different bow strokes you have in your back pocket and see if you can really pull them out in your solo playing, in your pieces that you're working on. Throw them in there, and if you don't know what to do, just try them out at least, and then hopefully you can get some guidance from a teacher or somebody who has more experience than you. But just try them out, and at least you'll have them, the skill, right, ready to go when you need it.